Hi there, I'm Matt, he's Bruce. We're talking Cochise County football. In this installment, we're going to talk about three games real quick that we're going to kind of rattle through. First one being Ironwood Ridge at Douglas. Class 4A game for Douglas. Ironwood Ridge, a good team with a lot of really good skill players. They gave Buena a bit of a game for a while. A quarterback and a couple receivers that can really run and throw it. Douglas coming off a fairly impressive loss at Saguaro, 33-39, a game that we thought might have been not as competitive. So what do you see in this matchup? What does Douglas have to do?
Well, first of all, Douglas is going to do what they did against American Leadership that first home game for that first quarter and control the ball for 11 minutes and 45 seconds and keep the ball away from Oro Valley or Ironwood Ridge. If they can do that, Douglas has a chance. Ironwood Ridge is 2-1. They beat
Seton.
There we go. Yeah, they beat Seton Catholic last week, and they throttled Douglas last year in Oro Valley, 47-14. The fact is, they're driving to Douglas. I don't think it's going to phase them. I still think they're going to come down and knock off the Bulldogs, but we start region play next week, and Douglas's homecoming is going to be next week, and I'm just concerned. Hopefully, the players will be focused on Ironwood Ridge, but even if they are, I think the Nighthawks are just going to be too much of the Bulldogs to handle on Friday night.
I think one good thing to come out of it for Douglas, I mean, Ironwood Ridge is going to score a lot of points. They got some really talented skill players that are experienced. But I think this could be an opportunity. But they don't play a lot of they don't want low scoring games. They want high scoring games. So it could be a really good opportunity for you and Angara and the Douglas offense to really stretch your legs out.
Well, as we mentioned in the last game last week, he got her through for over 200 yards. If he can get his arm going again and get that receiving core open, but now there's game film. And you know dang good and well, Ironwood Ridge is going to know how to prepare to defend the pass. So we'll see what happens on Friday night. So I'm saying Ironwood Ridge by 25.
That's about what I was thinking. I was thinking somewhere in the low 20s. We'll go ahead and Ironwood Ridge by 25. That sounds like a good line. We'll see if it holds. Moving on, let's talk about Willcox a little bit.
Willcox, I'm going to guarantee a 2-game losing streak is going to end.
Oh, thank goodness.
They're gonna go to Santa Rita, which is 0-3, and Willcox is 1-2. I see the Cowboys going into a running clock with this game. They prevailed last year 52-0. I see the Cowboys just dominating this game from the get-go. The fact is it's at Santa Rita doesn't concern me. I think the Cowboys, they're itching to get the skid behind them and get back into the win column. And I just see them prevailing handily over the Eagles. And I'll say by 25 in this game as well, but just Willcox's favor.
Sure, and I think Willcox, they Sholo last week. Sholo's a classically dominant 3A program from a very tough football part of the state. I think that's just going to help them as they go through the year. And last year we saw Willcox have some struggles early on and then finish really strong. So
at this point of the season, they turned it on.
Yeah, I think we might be ready to see Willcox really turn it on as they head into region play. Speaking of the 2A South region, we've got Bisbee. We talked about Bisbee earlier, coming off a 30-7 loss, their first loss to a really strong team in Eloy Santa Cruz. They're at Catalina in Tucson on Friday night. We're not expecting much of a fight to be put up by the Trojans. What do you see in Bruce?
Bisbee's going to bounce back in a big way.
Yeah,
they're going to come back and they're going to beat this team. They beat them last year 39-0 at Bisbee. We were there. Bisbee, I'm pretty sure they're going to be anxious to get last week's loss behind them and get back into the win column. Sebastian Lopez and like I said, Miles Richardson, they have a great combination there, both running and passing. And I don't think Catalina has any player that can stop Sebastian right now. Santa Cruz did find a way to contain Lopez, but Santa Cruz is a different team than Catalina. And so I see the Pumas, I'm going to say 30 plus.
Yeah. I think one thing I'd really like to see, at least from the stat line after this, is like it was in the game against Santa Cruz, Bisbee only had, 11 intentional runs. The other 8 were Lopez just scrambling on his own out of called passes where he was improvising. I'd like to see them they never established the run against Santa Cruz, never really tried. I'd like to see them get in the habit of doing that.
This is one of those games where you can work on things that you need to do. And I can almost guarantee you that, it's like we tell your coaches, you play hard the first quarter, and then second, third, and fourth, you use the game to improve the techniques or the fundamentals that you need to improve on and work on those. So that way going forward, they'll use them in game situations to know better.
Yeah. All right. So we both agree that about Bisbee by about 30 is where we like the line on this one. So, hopefully the Pumas can get back on the right track. Lots of good games. Check out Friday night, Cochise County. Be at one of them. I'm Matt. He's Bruce. Have a great day.